everywhere you look, they say to do this, or they're telling you must do this, do this, do that, do this, do that. Science will show on one side that this is the way you got to do things, and the other side will do the exact opposite. And what I found is, I was thinking, and this is food for thought. We are questioning everything they've ever said, and I'm going to give you 5 things you must do, everybody must do, and we can kind of take it from there. Last night I was listening to the Tom Bilyeu show, Impact Theory, with Dave Asprey, who is arguably the godfather of biohacking. And like him or not, he has a lot of valid things to say about what we should be doing. Once again, and looking at an outlier, taking things in consideration for longevity and bringing it into a realistic approach of what is needed to be done. And, like in my complicated mind, I broke it down to these 5 things. And, I want you to ask questions. And, you can agree with me, you can disagree with me, that's fine. This is my opinion, my anecdotal N of 1 experiment on myself. And this is what I wanted to present to you today, these 5 things you must do. The only 5 things you must do. The first 3 are very clear. The last 2, very subjective. But here they are. Number 1, we all must breathe. It's pretty simple. If you don't breathe, you don't live, and we all need to do it. So whichever way you want to look at this, there are factors involved that, what is optimal breathing? Should we be breathing through our noses? Should we be doing breath work? Meditation ties into this, whether yoga or, just every breath you take is vital to your life. So it would make sense, logically, and we're going to inject a lot of critical thinking here, but this is just something I wanted to get off my chest, because every day we get confused with what we should or shouldn't do, and these are things you must. So breathing is number 1. Wouldn't it make sense to learn to breathe properly, correctly, and with substance? Now, we're very good at just getting by and breathing through our lives. But maybe there's tools out there that can optimize your breathing. Now, if you have disruptions in your breathing, whether it's, some kind of bronchial problem or, distractions in your body that are not allowing you to breathe, we're going to need assistance. So that's when the interventions step in. And the funny thing is all these things tie in together very simply, but they can be very complicated. So number 1 is breathing. Number 2, we all must sleep. And eventually you will sleep. There is no question about it. Now, the quality of sleep and how we go about this, there's the arguments. One side will say sleep is just a lights out kind of thing, and other people in the space will say there's quality sleep matters, where you go through in and out of waves of sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, delta sleep. All these factors are great, but the point is you need to sleep. So optimizing your sleep, to me, would make sense in the long run. At first, the first part of my life, I completely neglected a lot of these things. And now the closer I get to realizing how important these 5 things are, the better I'm feeling. I'm sleeping better now, and it's all tied in together. I'm breathing better, I'm sleeping better. So sleep is the second thing you must do. So maybe it's a good idea to learn how to optimize your sleep. It's where the magic happens. The proof is in the pudding, and you can stress and tax and argue all of your life and lifestyle, but sleep is where you regenerate. Sleep is where you recalibrate, where everything falls into place. So it would make sense to sleep better. Number 3, is movement. We need to move. It's clear. Now, once again, this opens up the floodgate of argument where, what you want to do or who is right about how much you need to move, how it affects your breathing, your sleep. That is the subjective side. That's the argument. But you need to move. So it would make sense to take it on a spectrum. Physical activity versus lifestyle, but you need to move. Sedentary people get sick. Bedridden people lose the ability to move. So as a human being, these things unite us. We must move. Now, where you are in your life, your physicality, and how you are able to move will obviously, I'm blessed with this last bit of my journey getting into this, the ability to move more heavy, fast. I thought I wasn't. I was at the point where I couldn't lift my arm above my shoulder. I couldn't run upstairs. And I knew something deep down inside of me, I had to change. And luckily, and I'm blessed that I was able to find a way into the light. And now my movement is good. I'm in no pain. And, that reflects my sleep. That reflects my breathing. Number 4 is the most subjective one of all. We must eat. We must eat to nourish our bodies. We must eat to fuel our bodies. We must eat because it's a natural instinct and the way we are able to live. So now, what we eat is the question. I'm going to leave it in a broad spectrum today, a broad category here, because it would make sense to me if we need to eat that we find what is necessary for fuel and necessary for our bodies. That's the question. We have a lot of people out there arguing what we should be or shouldn't be eating. But, my opinion, if we look to nature, we'll find the answers. Our bodies were brilliantly constructed, whether God or Mother Nature made these, we just have to stay out of the way and nature will take its course. So whether you're carnivore, vegan, vegetarian, omnivore, frugivore, whatever you are, we must eat. And nourishment and energy are two different things. The way they measure them, the way they test them, there's so many arguments out there. Now, I don't know what the right way is. I know what I've done has worked for me, and this is where I'm challenging you. What would make sense would be to find the most appropriate species-specific diet that lets you and pushes you to feeling great and alive every day. If you're breathing properly, you're getting enough sleep, you're moving, and you're nourishing and fueling your body correctly, what do you think is going to happen? Good things are going to happen because they're right there. So we're not going to get into what you should or shouldn't do. All we know is you must eat. So this is where it gets a little gritty, where you have to find out for yourself, and trusting the science and listening to people. That's all great, but if you don't feel good, you're probably not doing something right. If you feel amazing every day, odds are you are. So maybe the goal is not short term. And if there's disruptions in these things you must do, trying to find a way to improve these things would be the way to go. Now, I know people are going to argue with me about the way I eat. That's fine. But I've said this before on this channel, there is no way a test can tell me I feel like shit or feel good. I feel amazing every day. And if I'm not feeling amazing, I look back to why I'm not feeling good or great. And usually, if you are honest with yourself and you can get a little brutal, dirty honest with yourself, you will find that it's not something someone told you, it's something you did that created that state. So find what is species specific, appropriate for our species, our bodies. Now, whether you eat plants or don't eat plants, there's arguments. I might not be doing exactly the right thing for human beings. But what I can tell you is every day I wake up and I feel great. I can move, I can breathe, I'm sleeping way better than I have in my whole life. So all of these tie into each other. Now the secret is to find your way. And listen, people will tell you, you must, you have to. This is the only way. Well, if it's not working for you, it's not the only way. If it's not working for you, you know, you're going to have to reassess it. These 4 things so far that we must do are what we all have to do. So, you know, it might be a longer search. You might not find it right away. But every day, feeling better is probably a good step to the right place. If you're feeling worse and worse and worse every day, you're in pain or inflamed, or you know your brain's not working right, all you have to do is look back to these things and assess it. There's no pill that's there might be a pill that makes you feel great at the time, but once that pill runs out, what are you left with? Your breath, movement, sleeping, and way you're nourishing and fueling your body. So that's something to be said. Now, I have my bias, I have my ways of doing things, and you know, this is what I want to open up to you is anybody claiming health. It might not be good for you. If you are concerned about it, learn about it. Break it down. What's fueling your body? What's building your body? Is there a better way? Am I lacking in something? We need essential nutrients. We need essential vitamins and minerals, essential amino acids, essential fatty acids. There's no essential carbohydrates, just to tie that in. You might be fine right now. But when you look at life, what life needs, what we need to build and maintain our bodies, and we need to fuel our bodies. Now, whatever way you think is right, if it's not working for you, take a few steps back. Reverse engineer your own way. The last, and this is, you could argue with me, the last thing we must do is love. And I have been probably in denial about this fact for, 35, almost 40 years of my life. And, I don't mean to sound cliche, but when you find love, especially for yourself, and you treat yourself with the love and respect you deserve, good things start happening. When you just love, everything gets better. When you find love, you feel better. And the roller coaster ride of loving yourself and others, it just gets in sync. So, I know the world is a crazy place right now, and we all have reasons and excuses to not love. But this is where your soul comes in. And, whether you're spiritual, whether you're religious, whether you're, an agnostic or atheist, love is important. And I believe it is the last thing we must do. And when you find love, you will find things start getting better. So that's all I wanted to say today. And I wanted to thank all the subscribers that are coming up aboard on our channel. We're searching. We're searching for truth. We're searching for answers. And I'm not satisfied with what they say. Because what I've found, they say a lot of shit that doesn't make sense. And the more I backtrack, the more I dig into this, the more I find my truth. And that is the power. I want to empower you to do the same. Question everything. And if you can't find the answers, keep questioning. They'll come. And feeling great every day is the ultimate life reward. You know, you deserve it. Some things aren't your fault. Some things you can improve on right now. And, you know, please, if this could help or guide anybody or steer anybody to, you know, we'll call it waking up, share this with somebody. Share this with somebody you love. These are important things. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Thanks. Have a great Sunday. Stay strong.